I have had 17 years in the disability sector, and these are the things that I've learned. Hi, guys. I'm Sarah from Sarah Knows Support Workers podcast. Today, I am running solo and I am coming to you by myself to host this episode because I feel like it's really important that I can tell you all what I have learned in this sector for the last 17 years. So, when I first started in the disability sector, I was 19 years old. Like, at a service in Melbourne's West, and that was 17 years ago. And I have pretty much seen so many changes in that period of time. So, in this episode, I want to share with you all some of the biggest things that I have learned in the sector, and not from a book and not from policies, but from showing up for the last 17 years, from listening, from walking alongside the people that we serve. So, you're probably wondering, Sarah, what the hell have you learned about? When I first started, I worked under block funding. And then the NDIS came along, and honestly, it's messy at the moment. It's confusing and it is overwhelming, but I have survived this far. And I didn't just survive, I thrived. And the funding, the systems change, everything, the language changes, but the work still continues and stays the same because our role is to support the people that we serve to live the fullest of their lives and live an ordinary life. So what I have learned, all right. In this time, I have learnt about ratios and groups. I have learnt how much a ratio and a group size have changed dramatically because back in my heyday, let's just say it wasn't a 1-to-3 ratio. And we moved from really having some really big groups to smaller ones and more individualized. So it's been a fantastic move, to be honest with you, because it means that the people that we serve in a group setting got more opportunities to go do more things, to be supported better and not in a bigger group. Because we all know that the one size fits all doesn't work. It works for this person. So that shift has changed a lot and it really does matter. It changes how people live, how they were supported, and the voices were heard. I've learnt about language and how the names have changed. Yeah, and it's continuing to change right now. The titles, the words, especially in Victoria, what we call things today have changed. What we call things today isn't what we called them years ago, and it wouldn't be what it is now in the future. I'll give you an example. Back in the heyday, it was called accommodation group homes. Yep. And now it is somebody's home. So it is completely different to ever before. But behind every name change is still a person. And that really does matter. So what I've learned about accommodation, particularly, right? So this is in Victoria. Accommodation has changed so much. So we're seeing more seals than ever before, which was back in the heyday, accommodation, group homes, all sorts of different names. I had so many different names to now. And what it has done, to be honest with you, it has given an opportunity to people for more than ever before because it used to be like a ratio of 1-to-5. And now we've got houses within our community that have a ratio of 1-to-3. So it means a smaller number in the house, so more opportunity to do and engage in activities than ever before. But also we're funding people a lot different before, where we might be a 1-to-3 ratio, and we're funding somebody for 1-to-2. It's got to go down to the person that we serve and their supports and what they really need to absolutely thrive in their home environment. So there's more choice, there is more flexibility, and there's more ways for a person to live a life of their own and as independent. And it's not perfect, but it's still progress. And you're probably seeing now, especially in this space, that there's a lot more people living independently than ever before, not in nursing homes, not in bigger accommodation with the numbers. It's more independence. And that's bloody brilliant to watch. So what I've learned about choice and control, because this is really important, it all ties in. One of the biggest lessons I have learned that choice and control belongs to the person that we serve. And not me, not a provider, not the system, not the family. It's the person that we serve. And sometimes, if I'm really honest, that can feel limiting for a support worker. And it can be limiting for a support worker to make sure, especially if you've got a mindset that doesn't always see the importance of it or the way that you are working and the people that you're working around, because you are who you sit with. That is really important to remember that if you're working with people with really limited mindsets, I dare say you will get a limited mindset. But it's not about comfort. It's about the person that we serve and what they want. And our jobs are to listen and to take take out bollards wherever possible for that person.
Here's one quick 15-second ad. Looking for the right support worker? Meet Swifty Matchy, the app where you watch quick videos, feel the vibe, and choose who supports you. No more waiting, no more guessing, and just real choices. Swifty Matchy, your vibe, your support, your way.
Learning to step back is a part of this, and it works well for the person we serve because they are the main character, the main energy for. So, what I've learned about myself in this period of time is that I've learned to leave my own thoughts and opinion at a front door. Yep, yeah, I have. And I have learned skills that I never thought I would ever learn. Like, to be fair, if it wasn't growing up in this sector, the disability sector, I probably wouldn't have learned how to cook the average still, but it was because it really did force these type of skills. I learned how to clean. I learned how to use a dryer properly without blowing up a house, which is pretty important. Maybe that's a story for another day. But life skills I probably should have learned at home, to be fair. But I learned them as a support worker and I'm better for it now. But what I have seen across the sector, and I've seen of our sector best, to be honest, like I'm going to brag right now. I'm going to put my foot down and brag because I have been around some awesome plan managers, some very bloody brilliant support coordinators, program coordinators that just get it, employment supports that really just kick in goals where people actually get jobs, which is fantastic. Independent living. I've seen people in the SEAL space absolutely nail it. I have seen it all. And I have watched this sector grow and change and evolve in the last 17 years. And I truly believe that the next 17 years are going to be a game changer. And the one thing that has never changed, to be fair with you, because a lot of things have changed, but one thing that has never changed is, and that I've always held on to, is, and always have probably focused very hard on, and one thing that I will continue to teach support workers is advocacy and choice. And standing up for the people that we serve is incredibly important. Listening to them, backing them, letting them lead. This is the heart of our job and always has and always will be. So I want you to take this on board as a support worker. Our job and our main job is to listen and to help provide opportunities for them to grow and develop their skills. So if you're a support worker in 2026, listening to this right now, whether you're new or you've been around the block a couple of while, know this. You are a part of a sector that changes and changes a lot. And when you center advocacy and choice, you are doing your job perfectly, but brilliantly, in fact. So I would like to thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for caring, and thank you all for being a part of this journey. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode.